So let's work on the first lab problem in dictionary. Write a Python program to find the highest three values in dictionary. Print out the dictionary and find three largest values. So we know these kind of largest value problem can be easily solved in list. We have in list, do we have sorted method? Yeah, right. We have sorted method. So we can easily solve it. We can sort it in reverse order, ascending order. But how to do it in dictionary? Because dictionary is key value based one, right? So let's explore the ways to solve um, the ascending, this ordering, sorting problem, because dictionary does not have the methods that can, if you explore the dictionary method, shall we do the, let's just explore, because we just practiced all the methods which is available in dictionary. If you explore that, what are the built-in methods available in dictionary? Do we have any method that we can use here to solve the problem? Not a direct method, right? We don't find any direct method, right? So let's see how to solve it. Sorting problem, how to solve it. Okay. So here is the tips. I didn't add the tips here in the question, but here's the tip that you can consider. There is a subclass called counter. Okay. So the counter class, what it would do, we can use it to keep the count of elements in an iterable, okay, in an iterable unordered dictionary format. Okay. For example, if you don't know what does it mean, if you pass the list of number here, it will do that. We did the counting, right? We did the counting in dictionary. It will do the counting direct. It's itself built-in method. It's a method. Using that, we can do the counting. All you need to do is just pass that list into this counter. It will just do the counting and will give you the list, dictionary with the element and the number of times the element appears. If you recall, that's what we did in the tutorial, right? So this will make it easier. You don't need to write 10 lines of code. With one line of code, this counter class will do that counting for us, okay? So if you look at the counting, what is the result of the counter? What is the output of the counter? The data type, output of the counter is always a dictionary, okay, with the counting value. So it's always a dictionary. So note down these points, take notes of these points. How to include counter? Counter is a class. You have to use this collections package. You have to import that counter from this package. So normally how you would import a class from a package like that, you have to first import. You can just add these things in your lab. Right now, you can just add it. From collections, you can import the counter. And then just pass any sequence of item. It doesn't need to be the same. Just pass any sequence of item just to check, just to understand how the counter works. Okay. So this just gives us the counting. So this is what we did so far in our tutorial section. We did this similar kind of stuff. Using the get method, we did it, right? Okay, so now with single line of code, we can do it. Okay, now coming back to the problem given is to find out the top three, largest three elements. Okay, so if you explore the counter method, do a search, Google search, counter methods in Python. You can find the Python documentation. Counter methods. Okay. You can see it has a bunch of method like elements, most common, subtract. You can look at that. Counter, collection. From the collection class, counter is the method. Okay. So what are the built-in methods available that comes with that class? Elements, most common, subtract, total, from keys. From keys we already seen in the dictionary. So update also we're familiar. The one thing which is not there in the normal dictionary, but it is here in this collection package is this one, most common. Look at that, what most common will do. It will return n most common elements and their counts from the most common to the least common. So do you think it will work? We can use it, right? Because it will get that I have given you the example. It will just go through whatever the data type is, whether it is list or string or anything, any kind of sequence data type. It will just iterate through that and it will just pick the most, the element which has the most counting. So if you say 3, then it will pick the top 3. For example, in this example, you can see there are more than one elements, A, B, C, D. But when I say I want to get the top 3 counting elements, then it just picks A appears 5 times, B appears 2 times, or appears 2 times, like that, right? So this is how we can use most common method. Is this clear? Most common. Okay. Do you think we can combine this here to solve the problem? Yeah, we can solve, we can use these to keep these two things in your mind. Let's use this method to solve a problem. So I have written an algorithm. It doesn't need to be solved in this way. It is one of the way. So the algorithm that I have written for this is like first we can use the most common method to find the top 3 elements. First, yes, we have just seen. And we are going to import the counter from collection package. And then we are going to assign values in the dictionary format, in key value format. And then we are going to pass it to the dictionary and then we are going to use the most common method. Let's do one by one. Let's do one by one. First, let's create a package. Sorry, let's first import that built-in method. I'll do it because in this lab, we are just going to use lot of new functions. So I want to do it with you. So you can just, from collections, this is problem number 1. Okay. From collections, we are going to import what package? Counter package. Remember, it is uppercase C, counter package. And then we are going to create a dictionary because that is going to be the input. From the dictionary, we are going to iterate and find the value. So I suggest you to, this is not, you cannot copy and paste this, but this is the dictionary that we are going to create. Okay. So type it. I'll just copy and paste, but please type it. Just create a dictionary with these values because those are the values given in your problem. Create a dictionary. So in this dictionary, we're going to find out the elements which has the highest value. Okay. So you can just print my dict and then you can see what it is a dictionary, obviously. Okay, we have the dictionary created. So we have already imported the counter method, right? So you can use counter method in n number of ways. In this example, we have passed this list into the counter and it gave us the dictionary. So let's try to pass the dictionary into counter and see what happens. So we are going to pass the dictionary that we have created. Okay, we're going to pass the dictionary that we have created. And we're going to use the most common method. How can we access? Now this key will become the dictionary. What is the type of this key? Can you tell me what is the type of the key? The key will have the format of collections and counter, right? We have, because what is the data type of key? Counter, right? Counter. Whatever is there in the counter can be accessed by creating this object. So K dot object dot methods available. Use tab. What are the methods available with this counter package, you can see that. Does it appear? So we are going to use most common method. How many top 3 elements, right? So how many top 3? So we are passing top 3. But it is in the form of tuple, right? The most common gives the form in the form of tuple. You can see that here. The output of this most common is the tuple. Let's explore the question once again. Print out the dictionary and find the 3 largest value. We have to print it out in this format. So we have to convert the tuple and we have to break it down and print it in this format. Do you think that is possible? We have to, because we got it in this format, tuple, but we have to print it out in a way that we can have the key and value. Like that, we are going to print it out. Let's see how we can do it. Let's first create a variable to keep that so that we can make use of it. So I have just created a variable. Okay. Now, here is the variable that holds everything. Because we need to iterate through that. We need to iterate through this to get the values. Did you notice down? This is list. List, but the values are in tuple. Did you notice the square bracket? And then the list element in this form of tuple. So if it is a list, do you think we can use iteration to iterate through that? Right? How can we do that? For I, can you complete it? What is the variable? I. Yeah, because it is a list. Pretty straightforward. We can just iterate through that. As it is a list variable, but the elements of the list is tuple. That's why we are doing this iteration to print it in the way that we want to get. So we want to do it in this way. So can you tell me? We want to do the key colon value. It is a tuple, right? So what the I will have the tuple value. So do you think we can just use the indexing to get the key value and value? So we can say I of 0, okay, I of 0, string concatenation, then I of 1. Doesn't make sense, right? So let's print it out. Oh, we want to print it out in this format. So if you check the problem, you can see that we got this result. Next problem, write a Python program to count the occurrences of letters from input string from users. The user is going to pass some input. It's a string input. Okay. But from that string, we are going to find out the characters and how many times the character appears. Okay, that is what we want. For example, in this given example, happy for you is the input, string input. So now we are going to find the frequency, that is histogram. How many times H appear? How many times A appear? How many times P appears? Like that, we are going to get it in form of dictionary. Dictionary means key and value, right? So this seems possible with the things that we learned. This is a kind of easy solution. We don't need to go for any packages to get it done. So from the things that we learned so far, we can easily get it. Let's look at the tips. So we learned about the get method in tutorial. The get method used to return the value of items with the specified key value. We know about the get method. If you remember, it will, okay. Let me check the get method thing. So we have used it for many purposes to pass the key value and get the value of that. We used it for many occurrences, many examples. So let's look at the algorithm to solve this problem. First, we are going to get the string. Next, letters in the string can be key and the number of times it occurs. That can be the value. So we can use dictionary to solve this problem. We are going to create an empty dictionary first. And then if you iterate through file, is it a file or no, it is not a file. It is, you're going to iterate through the given string. Okay. If you iterate through the string, each element will be the iteration element. Each letter will be the iteration. Each letter will be the iteration element. That we can understand. Create a temporary variable and iterate through the entire string. To handle the repetition of the letter in counting, use if and not operator to see whether the letter is already there in the list or not. You can use it or you can use the other methods that we practiced in tutorial. So let's try this method. Use if function to see whether the element is already there or not. Okay, let's get started. So first, we are going to get the input from the user, right? Input or say line. Input, enter the string. And then to keep this output, we are going to create a dictionary. So let's first create an empty dictionary. So you know how to do it. Let's create an empty dictionary. For I in, we are iterating through what? Can you fill it? Line. Line, right? Line is the variable name. So we are going to iterate through the line. And inside the each line, so let's say that how are you is the line. Okay, how it will iterate? So if it is a file, if the file is the input for the for loop, each line will be the list element. But here the string is the input. What will be the list element? Each character. Okay, each character. So we are going to check each and every character in each iteration and see whether that character is already there in the dictionary or not. Does it make sense? Okay, let's see. If not, D is the dictionary, okay? D, get line. Or sorry, I. See whether this sentence makes sense to you. So what is I? For example, in how are you is the, okay. How are you? How are you is the input, okay? How are you is the input. First letter will be H. So in the first iteration, I will have H, right? I will have H. And what this line will do, it will check whether that H is there in the dictionary or not. If it is not there in the dictionary, then it will add it to the dictionary. Can you tell me how we can add it to the dictionary? D of I, which is H, first iteration. And we are assigning a count value, 1. We are assigning a count value. If that letter is already there, then we can give a else case. Else case. And can you complete it? If it is already there, what we have to do? We have to increase that number. Okay, if already 2 times the H appears, then when you do the current iteration, H is there means it will become 3. Can you complete the statement? How can you do that? D of I. Awesome, good. Plus equal 1. In this way, we are checking each and every character and creating the counter. And then what we are printing out? We are printing out our dictionary. So we are going to check, how are you? The third problem, write a Python program to print out key value pair from a given dictionary in descending order. We are getting a dictionary, key and value. We are going to use exactly the same thing. But we want to print out the result in the descending order. Descending order in the sense in terms of value, right? Not based on key. Based on value, we are going to get the descending order. This is similar problem that we encountered. The first problem is also same. With dictionary, you have to perform ascending and descending order, but we don't have the method available. Okay. So how can we solve this? We can just go for most common and do it, but let's solve it in a different way this time. Okay. So tips that I have given here, you can refer. We are going to do a entirely different method, different approach to do this. But with this practice, you're going to learn two to three new techniques. One technique, you're going to find out the use case of lambda function. Lambda is an anonymous function that we'll use very often in Python. You're going to learn that technique. And also you're going to learn another technique with the list sort method, but how we can combine it with the dictionary. So you're going to learn these two techniques. I have given that you can just do a search of Python sorted method. Let me see. So we already practiced the sort method, which in a list, but sorted is a different one. Sort is different. Sort we practiced in list, right? So this is different. Sorted is different. How these both are different? What is the use case of sorted? Sorted is key parameter is used to specify a function to be called on each list element prior to making a comparison. Okay. Okay, let me show you the sorted method. Here, in this string, I have applied sorted. This is kind of different from list. List sort method, you can apply it only on string, but the sorted method can be applied on any kind of data type. Okay, so just refer the documentation if you want to have more reference. That is one thing we are going to use. Another function that we are going to use to solve this problem is lambda function. So what is lambda function? It's a miniature function. In JavaScript, you might have learned about anonymous function, right? You don't need to give name for a function. You can just use it anonymously without giving a name. Similar type, you can do it in Python as well. You can use a function, create a function, but you don't need to assign a name to that. You can use it in an anonymous way. Okay, so lambda function is a small anonymous function. It will get the argument. It can get the expression, that is a function. What kind of function that you want to do on that, and then pass those arguments. Look at this example. Lambda, which is a keyword. Okay, A, which is a parameter or argument to complete the task. Colon, it's an expression. Okay, expression. So when you pass this value inside this X, this will assign 5 to that A and will complete this job. You can do it. You can do this mini code snippet to understand how it works. It is similar to anonymous function in JavaScript. You don't need to give a name, but the only thing is you can just use only one function. One function, you can use number of parameters. You can, if you need two parameters to complete that function expression, you can pass two parameters. Okay. But here I have just given you only one small example. This is expression and this is the parameter that you need to pass through that expression to complete this task. Did you understand lambda function? Anonymous function. So now we are going to use that lambda function and then sorted method to solve this problem. You can solve this problem in a similar way that we solved problem number 1. You can do it, but we are just learning different techniques. So I'm giving you one more example to understand this, how you can use this lambda and sort it together. Okay, look at this example. So we are going to use this lambda and sort it together. Before trying it on this problem, we are trying it on a different problem. If you want, you can try it. Okay, you can add it. So here I'm creating a tuple. You know tuple, right? Number of parameters, which is inside the bracket. These are list element. Each list element is a tuple, which has 3 values. You got it? What are the 3 values? Name, grade, and the age. These are the 3 each list element is a tuple with these 3 values. So we are going to pass it to the sorted method. The good thing about the sorted method is you can use it on any dictionary, any data type. We are going to apply the sorted method on tuple, on a list which has tuple as a list element. So we are passing this. This is where we are passing. And then here, the second parameter, we are doing this lambda function. What is this lambda function? Here the argument is student and the expression is to get student of 2. What is student of 2? 0, 1, 2. What is 2? Age. Age, right? It is age. So what we are saying with this expression, with this function, you can just look at it as a miniature of function. What we are trying to achieve through this lambda function, we are sorting a sorted method will obviously do the sorting thing, right? It will sort it in ascending order. Okay. And then what we are trying to do, we are going to sort it based on age. Does it make sense? We are sorting it based on the age. So based on the age, it will just sort this given list. So it will say 10, 12, 15. Did you understand this combination? How you can combine lambda function and sorted method. Sorting, based on what you're doing the sorting? Based on the age. How you are saying based on the age? Because by using the lambda function, we selected that index value. If you got this, let's move on to the actual problem. Let's move on to the actual problem. So this is the dictionary. We are going to apply this on our dictionary. Let me read the algorithm since you now learned shorter lambda. If I read the algorithm, you can understand. First, we are going to create a dictionary. We are going to pass the elements into the dictionary. Second, we are going to use the sorted method. Okay, so I have given you the syntax for the sorted method. Sorted, iterable, which is on which you are going to do the sorting, and then key on based on what you are going to do the sorting, and the third parameter is whether you want to do ascended sorting or descended sorting. So you can do a search on sorted method. This is the syntax. First argument is iterable value. What is our iterable value here? Dictionary. Yeah, iterable, but yeah, key is in the dictionary. But we are not going to use key. That is the problem here. In the previous case, we were able to do it, but the problem with this problem is, if you do the sorting directly, what will happen? It will sort it based on the key. If you do the sorting based on the key, see what happens. I'm doing the sorting. See what happens. It just do the sorting. Print. Sorry. Print sorted. Print result. It will not do the actual sorting when I do the sorting directly. Did you see what happened? This is what you get for the printing result. It does not do the sorting because it does the sorting based on what? Key value. But we want to do the sorting based on what? Value. That 10525. We want to do the sorting on that. So to explain that, I have just show you. If you perform the sorting directly, it will not work. That's why we are going through this way. Okay, let's move on. First argument is iterable value. The second argument should be the key passed on which the sorting needs to be performed. In the second argument, we are going to apply the lambda function, like how we did it here. Okay, we are going to pass the lambda function. The third, ascending or descending. Did you understand until this? First, second, third argument. Maybe if we do this, you'll be able to follow. Okay, first you have to create the dictionary. If it lets you to copy and paste, you can do it or type it. I'm going to create a dictionary. The dictionary is going to have these values. I think you need to type it. Diction, my dic. This is the dictionary. I show you. If I do that, we can directly try doing the sorting, but it will not give you the actual result. It will do the sorting based on the key, which is item 1. We don't want to do that. We want to do it in terms of value. Okay. Okay. So you might be wondering, I'm gonna do this sorted. In case if we can try this, let's see how it works. My dict based on values. Print result. It does it. It does the values, right? It does the ascending order value. But look at this. Why I didn't choose that. We can still get the result, but I want it to be in this format. Specific about the output, right? So we are picking different methods. So you can do this if you really want. We don't care about the dictionary. All you care about is the value, then you can do it. But we want to do it in that format. So in that case, we are going to do this shorted method. What is the first parameter? Can you tell me what is the first parameter? Iterable, right? So date, how can you get the iterable? It's both key and value. We have discussed it in the tutorial section. List tutorial, dictionary tutorial section. What method will get you both key and value? Items, very good. So items, if you do the tab, you will see items will get you both key and value. Okay. Now, next thing, we are going to do Lambda because we see how Lambda work. It did an amazing job in creating an anonymous small code snippet, right? So let's do that. Lambda. If you look at the Lambda, um, key value pair is the one that we want to achieve. So here in this case, we simply get, this is like I, okay? It's a temporary variable. So here we want to get both key and value. So this is like I. Like how you can give a temporary variable. Like that here we have given key value, KV. Here we are going to do the sorting. Based on what we want to do the sorting, 0 or 1. Look at this example. Student of which one you want to do that? You did it, right? So KV of 1. And then KV of 0. Does this make sense? Let's try to print the result. It does the job, right? We want to do this and it can do it in the same format. But we want it to be in the descending order. Look at this. We want it to be in the descending order. So we have to use the third parameter. What is the third parameter? Reverse, right? So let's do the reverse. Add a third parameter. Say reverse true. Okay. Good. We got it in the descending order format, right? So next thing, we want it to be displayed exactly like this. Is it easy? We can get it done, right? So we are going to iterate through that and do this. For I in result, right? Iteration variable is result. Did you notice? Do you think we can do it? Because it is a list. The output of this is a list. Since it is a list, we can do it, right? So it is a list, but the list element is a tuple. But the list element is a tuple. So print I of 0, which is the one we want to do. And then inside that, we want the symbol. So let's add a symbol. Then we are saying I of 1. Good. So this is how we got it done. So let's read the fourth problem. Use a dictionary to count unique course prefixes found in the computing courses.txt file. Print the result. So print the result. Computing courses.txt. Can you please download that computing courses.txt file? So you can see that in Folio, please download it and have it in your current folder. So if you open that file, you will see this number of courses that we offer in Georgia Southern, right? It's this file, computing related courses. Have it in your current folder. So what we want to do, this is like again it's a iteration kind of stuff, counting thing, right? How many CSCI courses we are offering, how many IT courses that we are offering. So you have to read this file and you have to automate this process. You have to see how many CSCI course we are offering, how many IT course we are offering. Do you think that we can use dictionary concept for this? Right? Counting, when it is counting, you can just, because counting can be done in dictionary because it can get only the unique value. So what we are going to make as unique, this prefix, we are going to get rid of this number, but we are going to make this as a key. When we make this as a key, do you think we can do the counting? And that will give us the unique values, right? So this is what we are going to do. We are going to make it as a key so that we can do the counting. So use the file processing. And again, this one is like a line, right? Normally, when you read with a file, you have to get rid of the empty space. So you have to use strip function, you have to use split function to get all those values. We're going to do all those stuff. And then we're going to use get method and assign, like combine it with the dictionary. Okay, so these are the tips. So let's look at the algorithm. Create a dictionary to store the output. Okay, because the output is going to be like this. Prefix and number of values. For that, we have to create the dictionary and create a file handler to open a file. And we are going to iterate through the file. Line by line, we are going to get rid of the empty space. Line by line, we are going to split the comma. The comma we are going to split, and then we are going to put this as a course and put this as a course name. Once we get this as a course number, again, we have to do one more thing. What is next? We have to take this part away and use it as a key. Two kind of splitting we are going to do. First, we are splitting it to course number and course name. Again, course number, we are going to split it again. So that prefix of the course, the actual course number. That's what we are doing here. First column course title, second column course ID. Once we get the course ID separately, here we are doing that again splitting and get the prefix. Once we get the prefix, does it ring a bell? We used this in tutorial, right? We did it. Get method and add the incrementation. This method we are familiar. So once we get the prefix, then job is done. We can just pass the get and get the counting. Then we want to print it out in the desired format. So this is the algorithm that I have given. Does this make sense? Okay, let's get it started. Like, let's do this based on, keep this algorithm in your mind. Let's solve this. Okay. Let's create a dictionary. And then file handler. And then open the file. File name is computing underscore courses dot txt. Is the file. For line in file handling. Line by line, we are going to do the stripping to get rid of that extra space. You want to do, okay, let's say line. Now, normally we'll use I, but yeah, line, because we are dealing with each and every line. So line, and each line we are doing the stripe function. Tab, and you can see strip function. So once we do the stripping, we are going to skip the empty line is there. You can look at this, there is a empty line. Okay, so if you see a nothing, then skip that empty line. How can we say that? If line has nothing, skip that. Do you think it will make sense? If line is nothing, skip it. How can we do skipping? Continue. Okay, now we are going to focus on the column. So what is the first column? We are going to split it and line dot tab split. Based on what we are going to do the splitting? Look at that. We have taken the first line. Now we have to split this line based on what? Based on what? Come on. So that first one will become the course number and the second one will become the course name. Okay, we did it. Now, we are going to do the course is going to be, we are going to assign the course in column of 0. And then we don't need to say that course name is in column 1. You can do it, but we are not going to worry about that. Okay, we're just taking column 0 and put it in course. Again, we are going to take the course and do one more splitting. Okay, so pods, let's say pods, where we are going to do again one more splitting on the course. This time, what is the delimiter? Do you see why we are doing it? We are taking this course and then again doing the splitting based on this delimiter, empty space, so that we can keep this in a prefix and we can get rid of this, right? So that is empty space. Just give an empty space. And now we got our prefix. What is the prefix? Parts of 0. Parts of 0. That will be the prefix. Okay, now we got it. So we have just got all our prefixes. You want to do the printing? Just do print and see what is your prefix. It's not there. Yeah, I know. I have kept it in separate. Okay. Copy. Okay. It just take the correct last iteration and printed it out. Okay, so no problem. We have to do it inside the iteration to get it done. But if you do it inside the iteration, do you get it? We got this. But now the next thing we are going to do is counting. We have to do the counting. Do you understand until this? How we get it? Okay, now we are going to do the counting. Can you complete the course? We code because we have already did all those stuff in the dictionary. How to use the get method, where it will iterate through that and will give you the counting thing. Course, prefix. Is it course or courses? Courses. That is our empty dictionary, right? Courses dot tab. Do you see get method? Yeah, we are doing get. Getting what? Key. What is key? Prefix is the key. And then we are setting the prefix with 0, but we are incrementing 1. With each occurrence, we are incrementing the value of the key to 1. So what is the output of this? The output of this is going to be the dictionary. Look at this. So it's a dictionary, right? So let me get rid of this printing. I don't need it. We got this, right? So this is a dictionary. So it's a container type dictionary. The key will be the prefix and the 0 will get incremented with each iteration and will get counted. So we got this, but we want it to be in this format, right? So let's, to get it in this format, what we have to do, we have to iterate through this, get the value and display it. Is it easy? For prefix in courses. Courses is the list. Actually, this is the list. In the way, list element is going to be the dictionary. Print prefix courses of prefix. Can you tell me what is the output of this courses of prefix? I'll show it again. It will send the prefix, which is nothing but the key. Courses of prefix will give you the value for that key. Value for this key is 32 and the value for this key is IT. Since we are iterating, it will be taken as a list element, okay? So it is first iterating through that. For this key, this is the value. For this key, this is the value. So in each iteration, if you have 4 lines, it will just print out 4, right? You have just 2, so it just print out 2 lines. So this is how we achieve this. Words in programming codes. Use a dictionary to count unique words from the twister.txt file. I have uploaded twister.txt file in Folio. Download it. Ignore the difference in cases. That means makes, make, all those things. Let me open the file and show you. What is that file? Twister.txt. Just download it. Okay, so this is what we have in the twister.txt. Right now, oh, it doesn't have, it has the lowercase, uppercase thing and all. But here bot is lowercase, but here bot is uppercase. We want to get it of lowercase, uppercase. We want to get it of a special character. What we want to do here is just getting the number of times a particular word appears. We want it without, by ignoring the case, by ignoring the characters. Remove all punctuation, lowercase, all those things. But right now we don't have anything. But even if you have anything, we have to write the code to remove that. And we have to ignore the case and we have to do the counting. Since it is counting related problem, we can use dictionary, right? We can use dictionary. So let's look at the solution first. Use replace low strip split function for processing the file in order to get rid of special character, empty space, lowercase, uppercase thing. And then we are going to use the get method to handle key value pair. And then we are going to get the unique key and then we are going to do the counting. So this is the high level idea. If you look at the algorithm, First, we are creating a dictionary, and then we are doing a file handling, and then we are going to iterate through the file. In each iteration, when we take the line, we want to get rid of the special character, including empty space. We are going to write the code to get rid of special character. So after we get rid of all the special characters, again, we are doing one more processing where we are converting the uppercase to lowercase because we want to ignore that during counting. And we are removing the empty space. Finally, we are doing the split function. When we do the split function, what is the output of the split? Each line is a string. Output of this line with split method is a list, right? So that list is going to have list element. For example, this is going to be a single list element where the list element, list, which has the list element as Peter, bought, better. All those things are list element. So we are going to process it word by word. We're taking this first word and see whether it is there in the dictionary. If it is not there, then add. If it is already there, then add one. Does this make sense? So let's solve it. Okay. So first we are going to get the word. So first we have to handle this output. We are creating a dictionary. And then we are creating a file handler, right? File handler. And then open the file. And then line by line, process line by line. Where on the file. And then in each line, we are going to see whether it's any of these characters are there. Okay. So what are the characters that we want to look? We want to look whether it has this hyphen, whether it has this dot, whether it has comma, underscore, what is underscore, and then double quotation and single quotation. And then, oh, when we use single quotation, that is the escape sequence, right? Can do escape sequence, single quotation or line. All these things we are considering. If it is that, we are just going to replace it with the empty line. If it finds any of those characters, then we are going to use what method? If it is a line, that means a string. Does string has replace method? Yes, it has a replace method. What is the syntax of the replace method? You have to first find what is there in that given character. And if it finds this character, it has to simply replace it with nothing. That is only for finding the character. So go back, escape that looping. Now we have the full line. So now in this line, we want to make every character to lowercase. Do we have any method for that? Lower. It will just convert the uppercase to lowercase. So we have converted the lower cases. Next, we want to get rid of all the empty space. What method that we can use? Struct. So once we get rid of the empty space character, uppercase, all those things, finally, we want to do our splitting so that we can convert that string into list, right? So tab, split. Then we are going to iterate. Forward in. Okay. We have just put it as a line. Okay, we can say line. Forward in line. Oh, this is kind of little bit confusing. So say word and word, but anyway, this makes sense. Words is the dictionary, and this word is each line, iteration line. Okay, each line. So words in the dictionary, what we are going to find? A particular line, right? What is that particular word? Particular word. What is that particular word? The current word in the list, which is word. Can you complete it? If it is there, for example, the first line, Peter. First iteration, the word is going to be Peter, right? So we are going to check whether it is there in the dictionary. Get method. Can you complete it? Word 0. It will get the word by key, and then the values will be the value of the value, key value, value. So let's print it out. They got it, right? But how we got it? Line by line, it is creating a dictionary. Do we want it in this way? So first iteration, this is the output. Second iteration, this is the output. Third iteration, this is the output. But we want to read it as a single file. Does this make sense? So if you want to do it as a single file, then get rid of that indentation. Now you can see it's a single file. We got rid of that as a single file. We did it as a single file. Next, we want to display it in this format, right? So if you want to display it in that format, then again we have to, let me comment it out and iterate through that. For word in words, that is dictionary. The first one is word, the second one is dictionary. And then we are doing print word, which is the key, and then the space, tab, and then words. Got it. So recall, we got the file, created a dictionary, got the file, read it line by line, replace the characters, empty space, uppercase, all those things to lowercase, all those pre-processing we did it, and then use the list split method to convert that sentence into list. Then we iterated through the list line by line, and then we applied the get method, which is dictionary, where it will just get the unique value. And if it is already there, it will add it as a counter. In that way, we did a counting of number of words.